Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, creatures of all ages, and anybody else that might be watching, welcome back to the Civilian Armory. Kind of a project today, just a little quick how-to. And, yeah. So yesterday I was in an all-day rifle and pistol class, about 8.5 hours or so. And now that I'm, home and it's time to go through all my gear and get all my gear ready for the next class, so on and so forth. One thing you need to do is clean the soot and stuff off your lights. And I apologize, my hands are kind of dirty, my hands and arms. I've been out hilling potatoes. So I'm in here cooling down, taking a break. It's a nice warm day here in Missouri, and the potatoes were ready to be hilled. So you get soot all over your lights. This is the head off of my M600 dual fuel. As you can see, the heads of these get pretty bad. Right, that right there, that burnt looking stuff is the portion of the head that faces the muzzle brake, and you guys have seen in previous videos how close that rides to the muzzle brake. That's the head. It's, I find that the more you clean these up, the way I'm going to show you how to do it, the more you do it, the less dirty they seem to get, right? The some of the first rounds, the first classes that these lights both went through, you get 300 or 400 rounds through one of these guns and you can't see hardly anything through the heads of these lights. These are not as bad. You can see there's some stuff on them. You can kind of see it there on that one. There's some haze to them. But I find that the more you do this, the less you have to do it. But just wanted to show you how I clean up the lens portion of my lights. So if you're going to attempt to do this, what you need a paper towel of some nature. A couple of Q-tips tend to be pretty handy. You need some dirty flashlights and flashlight lenses. And then just some plain white, nothing special toothpaste. This toothpaste is, it looks all dirty and you think, oh God, does Glenn keep that in his bathroom? No, this rides around in my range bag. Specifically for this purpose. I would imagine you could use really any kind of toothpaste. I find that the just plain old white, nothing special toothpaste works just great. One thing a lot of people don't think about or don't know is that toothpaste is basically just a food grade polishing compound when you really boil it down, especially your plain toothpaste that's not, whitening or this or that or the other. Just plain toothpaste is food grade polishing compound. And then they add some, mint flavor so that it doesn't taste like polishing compound. And then if it's a special toothpaste that's whitening or blah blah something or other, they add some other gunk in there and other forms of poison. So either how, let's get down to it. How do you do this? I take a good finger, and if this is your toothpaste from your bathroom, maybe, wash your hands or something first. This is not the toothpaste from my bathroom, though, so I don't worry too much about it. I take a little dab on my finger, and I apply it directly to the light, just like that. Take another little dab, and apply it directly to the light, just like that. And it'll sit on there. I wipe my finger off that finger, because I use my other finger here. And you'll feel it. You'll feel that it's a polishing compound because there's kind of a grit to it as you do this. And we're just going to work that around on that light. And you'll see your polishing compound start turning grayer and grayer and grayer as it eats away and cleans all that junk off the lens of your light. Now, like I say, these two weren't as bad as they have been in the past, and just kind of keep pulling it back up in the center there, and working it back and forth and around, and you can do circles one way, and then you can do circles the other way, and then you can go back the other way if it makes you feel good. Just work that in there, and the more you do it, the more it'll clean that stuff off of there. And it's hard to see in the camera, but you can see this toothpaste turning kind of a gray color as it cleans that gunk off. And we're just going to work that around and work that around and work that around. And I apologize that these lights weren't dirtier than they were. I tend to keep my lights cleaned up because I like them when they're bright. And you can notice a difference. A real dirty, real hazed over light, it'll start looking kind of dim, and you'll think, man, are my batteries going dead? Nope. Your lens is dirty, right? You've been shooting a lot. You get 300 or 400 rounds through a rifle that's got a light on it, or a gun that's got a light on it, and that light is mounted near the muzzle, they can get pretty hazed over. So we work that around in there like that quite a bit, and you can feel it getting smoother and smoother as it's ground all that stuff off of there. I'm going to wipe my finger off here. And then, because my finger doesn't conform to the edges of that as well as a Q-tip can get in there, I'm going to come in here. I'm going to work around the edges with a Q-tip really well. And get in there, get a lot of that stuff cleaned out. You can see it coming off on the end of my Q-tip. You can see the dirt and stuff in there. All right, and that's all just soot. It's just burnt gunpowder. It's nothing crazy. I'm sure the state of California will tell you that this activity causes cancer, but you gotta die of something. And I'd rather you die to cancer than die to accidentally getting shot because your light was all sooted over and you couldn't see the bad guy in your house or in the parking lot or hiding in the closet or wherever he was. So, yeah, that's pretty nice. That's pretty nice right there. So kind of wipe that gunk off our Q-tip so we don't get it all over our table. And kind of wipe the head of this thing off. Get all the toothpaste. And the other thing is that this makes your lights smell really nice. Right? You'll shoot some bad guy someday and he'll be like, ah, man, that light smells real nice. Your guns are very hygienic, So we wipe that up like that, and we can see, man, that's a lot nicer, a lot cleaner. And like I say, what I have found is that the more you do this, the more kind of resistant they become, right? Because you're just polishing that glass lens up in there more and more and more and more and more and more and more. And you're polishing it up. And the more you polish it, the easier it is to clean that stuff off of there. So we can do the same thing here on this one. Clean our lens up real nice so that we get all of the light coming out of it. Because, I mean, it's pointless to have a really bright light if the... Oh, sorry, a little negligent light discharge there. Did you see that? Man, whew. So, it's pointless to have a real bright light if your lens is all hazed over, right? You are diminishing the effectiveness of this very, I won't say very, but somewhat expensive light that you put on your gun, right? You're diminishing its effect, and that's pointless. That's pointless. Now, they do make little covers and so on and so forth that you can see that toothpaste turning gray. Look at that. They make little lens covers and so on and so forth. I believe the company Theorem, I believe, is the name of that company. They make some little, it's just a clear piece of plastic tape kind of stuff that goes over your lens and it peels off real nice. So you can do that if you're into that. Toothpaste is something everybody's got or should have. If you don't have toothpaste in your house, that's kind of weird. Look at how much nicer that looks. So much nicer. So much nicer. Yep. And that's how I clean up my lights. It keeps them nice and clean. Keeps them working at their full capacity. And I think that's important. I think that's important. Just a little heads up. The next 3 or 4 videos that I'm going to put up today are videos from the class I was in yesterday. Obviously, guys, I can't videotape the entire class because that would be like an 8-hour long video. But we did get some pretty cool video of various things that we did yesterday. Just short snapshots. Each one will be just, a couple of minutes long. Hope you enjoy it. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. And here's a little word from our sponsor.
You help control the pet population. Have your pet spayed or neutered. Goodbye, everybody.